Yo, book nerds, I can't believe it's July. We're halfway through the year already. What in the world is going on? So let's check in on my reading goals. We'll do like the mid-year check-in. Let's see how I'm doing. I did not set very many reading goals. In fact, I set one. I set one actual reading goal, and that was to read 11 books this year. And I am currently reading book number 8 of 11. So I am well on my way to hitting that goal. I'm sure I will hopefully surpass that goal if I can keep this momentum going. So we're doing great. And I have book reviews out for most of these books. The only ones that don't have reviews yet would be It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, which this review will be out next week. And then, of course, my current read, which is It Starts With Us. So this will be coming in a few weeks. But in place of reading goals this year, I decided that I'm going to have some fun. I've got a lot going on. If you haven't watched last week's video regarding how my master's class is going, go check that out. But a lot's going on. I'm super busy. So I just wanted to have like an easy, relaxing kind of year. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself by setting all these goals and then stressing over whether I hit them or not, because I'm the kind of person that stresses over goals. Like, I want to hit them. I can't just ignore them once I set them. So 11 books for the year, that's my only goal. I'm well on my way to get there. And playing book bingo was the other thing I wanted to do this year. I wanted to make it fun. I made my own bingo card. I used prompts from friends and family, and I created my own bingo board, and I am having so much fun doing this. I am not necessarily trying to get a bingo right now. I had set some rules that once I place a book on the bingo card, I can't move it. So once it's there, it's there. Only one book per prompt, so I can't use multiple books for the same prompt. I can't use the same book for multiple prompts. So once I read a book, even if it can go in multiple slots, I gotta pick one and that's where it stays. And I don't think I'll get a blackout for this, but I am definitely trying to fill as many slots as I can. I would love it if I could fit every book I read this year into a slot on the bingo board. So that's kind of my unofficial goal, not necessarily to get a blackout, not even necessarily to get a bingo, but to try and get every book that I read on this bingo card somewhere. So let's look at where I've placed my 7 books. So again, many of these books could fit in multiple slots, so I had to make a choice after I read each one, right? So The Wild Robot, I decided to put in the Start a New Series slot because I really didn't know how many series I was going to read this year, so I thought that would be a good spot for it. The Wild Robot Escapes, I decided to put in the children's/middle grade book slot. I knew I'd be reading a lot of middle grade this year, but that's just where I decided to put it. The Wild Robot Protects, I put in published after 2020. I'm not typically a new book reader. I like classics. So this may be the most recent book that I will read this year. So I decided to put that there. Fairy Tales, I decided to put in a collection of short stories slot. I don't foresee myself reading any more collections of short stories this year. Villette, this was a hard one to place because it could fit in quite a few spots, but I decided to put it in Read a Classic. I'm kind of second guessing myself and thinking maybe I should have put it in the spot for a book that's over 500 pages, but I I kind of went back and forth because I didn't know if I'd read any more classics this year. I also didn't know if I'd read any more tomes this year. So I just decided to put it in the classics spot. So it is there. Closed for the season, I decided to put that in a book under 200 pages slot. And then finally, It Ends With Us was my most recent completed book, and I put that in read a book with a pink cover. It's kind of a fun prompt. And now I am reading It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I have not decided where I'm going to put this book on the board once I'm finished with it. So you'll have to check in at the end of the year to know where I place it on the bingo board. Anyway, that really does it for a check-in on my reading goals because, yeah, I didn't really set any this year. I normally set quite a few goals, but I just didn't this year, and that's fine. I'm really happy with how I have chosen to do this year. It's taken a lot of stress off. I'm having a good time, which is the whole point, right? This is a hobby. It should be fun. Anyway, what reading goals did you set for the year? Are you on track with them? Are you failing epically? It's okay if you are. Are you like me and are you like, I need to hit my goals? Like, don't stress yourself out. I need to take my own advice there. But anyway, shorter video, but there's just not that much to check in on. I'm having a good time. It's been a great year, and I hope that the second half is as good as the first. Drop down in the comments, and I'd love to hear how your reading goals are progressing. Hit like and subscribe. I'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks for talking books with me.